Hello and welcome back. I'm Sandy with Sandy's Organized Chaos, and it is vlog day. So happy to see every single one of you. So last week we left off, I finished up this guy right here, and then I decided at the last second that I wanted to do a coaster to match it. So we're going to be doing up the coaster today, and this will pretty much be all done, this whole set. This week was a pretty big week for me and my husband. We celebrated our 15th wedding anniversary on the 17th. There we go. I remember. But I can't believe we've already been married 15 years. That's pretty crazy. It really feels like just yesterday. We were just little kids. It feels like just yesterday. As you guys may notice behind me, I had Jeff put up my shelf. I cleaned up a little bit. I kind of had to because I had something break, and then I started sweeping, and I'm like, you know what? I need to clean up. So I cleaned up. I got a little bit more organized. I had him put in my shelf. So, and I hung up some of my stuff over there. Remember we talked about that? I'm getting there. Slowly but surely. I also cleaned off my table, which I'll show you guys here in a minute. I scraped it, sanded it nice and smooth again. I think adults need like stickers, like great job, you know? It's just so that way we know we did a great job. So I have my tutorial from Friday that I want to show you guys really quick. It's right here. Let's show it to you. There we go. There's that. I really love how that turned out. I love these colors so much. Really, really like that. You know, and I really debated on the wood grain. I was actually going to do like glittered or something, but I'm so happy that I decided with the wood look there. But when you guys notice that my template really, it wasn't super tight around the front. And so I went ahead and I already knew that I wanted to put all the sunflowers behind the decal. So I just kind of covered it up that way. But when I did spray paint it, it really wasn't that noticeable. It wasn't until I started putting on the pinstriping that, you know, in order for that line to be straight, the wood was exposed on the one side just a little bit, but it wasn't too crazy. So, but I already knew that I was going to be doing the decal like this. So I really wasn't too worried about it. So, but that's why I tell you guys, make sure you measure, because sometimes, especially if you're using, you know, thicker coats of epoxy before you put on your template, make sure you measure it so that way you might have to stretch it out just a little bit more so that way it fits fully around your tumbler. It's so nice to be in like such a tidy room. I still have to figure out something to do with all my vinyl that's sitting in front of me. I have so much vinyls, and I don't really know how to organize that. I'm thinking about maybe getting like a shelving system. I think I've seen somebody in one of the groups that I'm in have like a book, and they put all their stuff in a book so that way they can see it all individually. I don't know. I don't know what I want to do. How do you guys organize your vinyl? How do you do that? Because I was, back in the day, I was buying bulk rolls of vinyl, just, you know, white, black. I would buy that in bulk, so it would be in a roll. And I just used I would go to IKEA and get the bag holders for it, and you can slide the tubes right through it. So that's what I used for a while to hold my vinyl, but these are all flat. These are all flat sheets, and so it's hard to remember what I have. So if you guys have like an idea of something, let me know. I'd like to know. I don't have any tumblers to show you guys that I purchased. I did purchase a couple, and those will be coming in soon at some point. I'm probably like the best customer you'll ever have if I purchase from you. I'm like, okay, whenever I get it, I'll get it. Like, I'm not even worried because I know how much time goes into making it. I know, I completely understand. So we're gonna go ahead and get moving on with that coaster to match our tumbler here. So I have that, and I'm ready to wake up, prep these tumblers, and slay all day. Let's do this. Okay, first off, check this out. So smooth, so pretty. Look at that. It's just fabulous. I love it. So let's go ahead and take that coaster out of its mold. Now, I was inspired by Kim's Pretty Cups. She sent me a coaster with my tumbler the other week, and she put her name on the back. So I'm actually not going to cut the flashing off the back side of this coaster, which I usually do. That's just so that way I can come through and add my name on the back side, and it has like a little bit of a lip for my epoxy. So I really want to cut out some of this vinyl, and I found that my striping toolkit that I got from the Amy's Make Everything, there we go, fits exactly perfectly inside of these 4-inch coasters. So I'm just going to use that for my template to cut out some vinyl to go inside of the coaster. Now, I think I talked to you guys last week. I said that the pink on my coaster doesn't really match the pink on the cup, but it's really not that bad. So, you know, it wasn't too noticeable. But I mean, it's going to mostly be covered up with my vinyls and stuff anyways. So I'm going to go ahead and just lay this right down inside of my coaster. I tell you what, I just can't get over technology these days. Like I said, I wish this kind of vinyl and everything was around back when I had my shop open and making cups. It just makes life so much easier. So here they are together so far. Like I said, see, it's not too different, but it definitely is like a brighter pink than the other pink with the pink glitter. That's what we're talking about. So that's what I have so far. Now I went ahead and I mixed up some epoxy. Again, I'm using Quickset epoxy so that way I kind of get through this drip a little bit faster. I'm going to do the same exact thing as I did for the tumbler. I'm going to add this little bit of yellow transparent dye into it. I'm going to add a little bit of pearl mica. I'm also going to add a little bit of SSC glitter dust and champagne. And I'm also going to put just one little drop of alcohol ink into it to kind of make it a little bit more brown, because this is just a little too yellow for me right now. And after I got it all mixed up, I kind of held it to the bottom of my tumbler here just to kind of see what the coloring is like. And I actually really like this color better than what I put on the cup, but you know, it is what it is. We're moving forward. This is more tea color to me than I did on the cup, but I still like it. You know, it's still nice. So now all I'm going to do is I'm going to focus on just the corner of my coaster here. That's pretty much where I'm going to add my epoxy, and then I'm just going to take it and kind of hold it up and down to get it into the places that I would like it to get to. But because I'm using my fast setting epoxy, it doesn't really go too far. It doesn't really kind of lay flat too quickly for me. There we go. So as you can see, I'm just going to kind of help it out with my stick just a little bit. I don't want too much on that one side because I don't want that teapot to get too covered. And I knew I did want it to come up the one side. So again, I'm just going to kind of help that out just a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and place some playing cards in there, kind of get them covered up. And after I added a few playing cards, now I'm just going to start kind of doing that motion where I tip it up a little bit. I'm going to tip it back the other way a little bit. And this is going to go relatively fast because it is a fast setting epoxy for me. So again, I'm just going to fill it in as I go, see if there's any little areas that I kind of want a little bit thicker. And like I said, anytime I add a little bit of epoxy, I make sure to keep it off into that right-hand corner. So that way, not too much of that teapot's going to get covered on the left side there. And as I got going, I decided I wanted to add a little bit more of these little playing cards. So I'm just going to kind of stick those down into the top there. So see how it looks? It's just looking like it's kind of poking out rather than inside of it. So it's more like floating on top. So that's all I'm going to do here. And now it's just kind of the weight game where I kind of flip it back and forth onto itself. And again, I want to make sure that the edges of my drip have more of that bulkier look to it, just like I did with the tumbler. So again, all I do is I sit here and I let it do this as far as I can let it go. And then I'm going to bring it back onto itself. But I sat there and did that probably for about 30 minutes. And then after about 30 minutes, you see I have it completely upright. I went ahead and I added a couple more playing cards, which I was showing you, and I dabbled some of that epoxy over top because I wanted those more prominent in the front. See some in the background, some at the front. That's all I'm doing here. And I'm pretty much just doing this now at this point because it's really not going too much further. I did manage to get it kind of dripped up over the edge just a little bit to kind of look like it splashed up onto the edge. But that's pretty much all I'm doing here. And then, like I said, this was probably about 30 minutes after I went ahead and I laid that epoxy down. All right, so this was after it's been cured. I think it was about two or 3 hours or so. I went ahead and this is what it's looking like. And now all I'm gonna be doing is putting a layer of clear epoxy over top of this to seal everything down and make it a nice, flat, smooth surface. So I'm just using my regular set epoxy for this. I just did 1 pump each of my A and B. So I think that's 2 ounces altogether, 1 ounce of A, 1 ounce of B. So 2 ounces. And that was more than enough to kind of fill in the center. You want to still have a little bit of a lip because it is a coaster. So you just want to apply enough epoxy until it's almost to the top, but it still has a little bit of that lip for you. And especially in these colder months, it's cold here. I know you guys are gonna laugh, but it's like 60 degrees here and rainy, and it's freezing to me. So in these colder months, it's a little bit harder for those bubbles to come out of there. So what I like to do, because it's all epoxy, is after I get my epoxy in there, I'm gonna go ahead and hit it up with my torch. I'm gonna tap it around really good, and then I'm going to continue that process of hitting it up with my torch a couple more times after this. I probably do that for about 10 minutes. So all those bubbles have enough time to rise to the top, and you're gonna have a glassy, smooth surface every single time if you do it this way. But the reason why I said because it's all epoxy, if you don't wanna do your torch, if you have it inside of your silicone mold, you just wanna spritz it with rubbing alcohol if it's inside your silicone mold. But when it's all epoxy like this, you can go ahead and use your torch for it. So that's what I meant by that. But yeah, coasters are so fun, you know, and I've definitely come a long way with my coaster making. I've kind of really stepped outside the box with certain things, and these are just another extension of the art that you make. So have fun with it, be creative, let your imagination take you wherever it wants to take you. And to let that cure, I'm just gonna go ahead and stick it on my flattest surface I have, which is where my tumbler turner is. So I'm gonna go slide it over there and let that cure. All right, well, that was a lot of fun to do. You know, it's so nice just to be able to think outside the box and to get these ideas out onto a tumbler, because it doesn't always happen like that. You guys have seen me mess up numerous times on my vlogs. You guys have seen me mess up numerous times. So whenever it does happen, you know, it just makes me so very excited. So this is how she's looking. Nice and done here. So the only thing I have left to do with this is I'm going to, like I said, I left the flashing on the back end there, and I'm going to sign it, and I'm going to make it, put another like thin coat of epoxy over that to seal it all in. So that's all I have left to do with this. But here, let me get a close up for you guys. See, it kind of splashed up over the edge there. Like that. You can see all those cards in there. You can see my light. It's so shiny. But I'm so excited with how that turned out. What do you guys think? You guys like it? I hope so, because somebody out there might win this. You guys know I like to do this, so you just want to comment down below if you want to get in to win this, and I will announce the winner next Sunday. Will I announce the winner next Sunday? I can't remember if I'm going to be doing a vlog next Sunday or not. You know what? Yeah, I'll announce, because Thanksgiving's this week. Thanksgiving, and I didn't know if I was going to do a vlog or not, but I'll go ahead and I'll do a vlog still next Sunday and a tutorial, but then the weekend after that. Anyways, we'll talk more about that later. I'm jumping the gun here. If you guys want to enter to win this set here, just comment down below. It doesn't have to be anything too crazy because I pick randomly. I don't even know what you guys are saying. I go through and I try to heart everything because I got to go through and I got to take your names and put it into my random name generator. So I try to make sure I go through and heart everything that I've put in there already. But anyways, yeah, I just pick randomly. So you do emoji, whatever. All right, guys, I think that's going to do it for me today. I still have a bunch more cleaning to do. I have a bunch of junk over here that I have to pull off my turner because I need my turner. I need my big turner. I have some little turners. I have a little 4 turner and my little single turner, but I need my big turner because I got a big project I got to do. So that'll be next Sunday with you. We'll be doing my big project. All right. So I'm going to go clean up. I hope you guys have an amazing Thanksgiving if you celebrate. I hope you guys have an amazing week, an amazing rest of your night, and I will see you guys next time. Bye, guys.